Ghost stories from a seer. Spirit stories. The drowned woman. Woo! I was visiting my sister and I noticed that there was a spirit energy that kept on following her that was non-familial, was not connected to any of her lineage lines, and sometimes she would just stand behind her in the kitchen, sometimes she would stand in the corner, but I knew that she was connected to my sister because she only watched her. So I asked her, hey, I don't want to scare you, but have you ever noticed that maybe you might see somebody out of the corner of your eye? She says, spirit energy? My family knows me well. My sister is also a seer, but she is a one-ranat, so she sees mostly in her sleep state, not necessarily when she's awake and alert. Sometimes, but not all the time. I describe what the spirit energy looks like. My sister gets a panicked look on her face and she says, I see that woman all the time. And here's where things get a little tricky. When my sister sees her, she doesn't look the same as when I see her. I do not let fear infiltrate the way that I can see energy. My sister sometimes can be a little bit of a scaredy cat. My sister describes her looking more like this, like The Grudge. When I see spirit come in and when they change and transmute, I know that someone living has certain kinds of walls and blockages up, completely contingent on the way that they choose to come in. And this is how she chose to see her. In fact, my sister says that she often comes right up to her face when she's getting ready to sleep, and my sister covers her eyes and she gets really, really scared. But this visual is actually really informative because it helps me get a gauge of how that spirit energy passed. So I quickly do a little bit of psychic detective work and I look at the location that the body has passed, I look at the way that she was found when she passed, I look at the architecture and all of the surroundings, and this woman had drowned. This spirit energy is not connected to the house, it's not connected to my sister, it's not even in the same state that my sister is in. But I can see that there is similarity when this woman was alive that connects to the way that my sister behaves. So it throws out this energetic cord of similarity. So my sister has a tendency to see this spirit energy. When my sister realizes that I see the same version of this woman that she can see, she gets even more scared. And then the spirit got even closer. Want to know more? Stay tuned for part 2. The Drowned Woman, Part 2. Woo! So, I've been seeing this spirit energy follow my sister, and my sister sees her as well, but this is how she looks when my sister tunes into her. This is scary, it's fearful, it's even quite grotesque, but that's because my sister has unresolved issues with certain kinds of elements. So what do? I explained that when I see the spirit energy around her, she doesn't look like this. She looks more like this. So what is the difference, and how can we get this spirit energy to show up like this instead of being so scary? You speak to the highest frequency of what this spirit energy is able to do. In doing my psychic investigation work, I can see a lot of information about her when she was alive. This is a woman who was going through a lot of information. She looks like she was involved in a lot of sex work, and the body was abused, and there was a lot of emotional holes that was going on inside of her system prior to her passing. When she passed, she was beaten. She also had some strangulation marks around her neck, and then she was thrown in a very shallow river. But again, why is my sister seeing her? Well, there are some similar holes in my sister's energetic system that this woman also had. So it's a cord that connects. But it also means that my sister isn't the only one who sees her. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if other people out there see her like this as well. No, your location is not haunted, but something inside of your intuitive and energetic system catches other energy. Don't be afraid, but tell them, don't ask them. Tell them to show up differently for you. Look into what's going on for them with more compassion and empathy. Transmute them. So I give my sister all these exercises of what to do when she feels like this energy is coming in looking like this. She promises me that she's going to try. A few days later, she talks to me and she's really, really excited. She says, bro, it happened. She came up to me right close to my face and I said, I'm going to choose to look into what's going on for you with more compassion and energy. And she moved her wet hair and she looked like that. The hard part is to continue to only see them like that. But now my sister's daughter is seeing her. So it's time to start the lesson all over again. Not with fear, but understanding.